Welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guest on this next interview. Now, once a solemn and deeply traditional day of prayer and remembrance, All Saints' Day in Poland is witnessing subtle but significant changes. From shifting attendance at cemeteries to emerging trends like ecological burials, modern society is reinterpreting old customs. Joining us today on TVP World to reflect on how secularization and cultural changes are shaping this holiday is Father Stanisław Tasiemski, Vice President of the Catholic Information Agency, a respected theologian and commentator on faith in contemporary society. Hello, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Thank you.
So, in your observation, how has the mood and the meaning of All Saints' Day in Poland shifted throughout all these years?
I think it's not such a big shift. We are deeply rooted in history, and really we try to visit tombs of our relatives, especially of our parents, especially during these days. Saturday, All Saints, and now the day of memorial of all departed, of all faithful who passed away. We are trying to visit the cemeteries. It is normal as well that the whole week is a special time for prayer for our faithful who passed away. So it seems naturally, my point of view is a very particular one. Perhaps I cannot, the funeral industry is registering the changes. My view is rather on those who are faithful, who want to be Catholics, who want to venerate their ancestors, to put flowers, to remember that they are grateful for what they received from their also educators, from people they cherished.
Okay. Do you see a generational gap in participation of these ceremonies at the cemetery, with younger people maybe being a little bit more reluctant to participate compared to the previous few years?
It is very natural. We know that when our life is advancing, also we notice that, for instance, when I was a student, perhaps very few people of my age were lucky to just died, passed away. If you look on older people, majority of their friends are on the other side of life. So they remember all those who are important for themselves. Sometimes old people says, I met few years ago a woman who was over 100 years, and she asked herself why she's still living. If all the friends died, she was martyred in concentration camps, so many people who disappeared rapidly. Even when she was liberated, she asked herself, she found in her sensitivity why I am still alive, why so many people of my colleagues passed away, were murdered.
Recently, there's also a trend of what the people are calling a more ecological burial, kind of trying to be more ecologically conscious when it comes to having these funerals. Do you think that this is compatible with Catholic teachings?
No, it's not. We know that, first of all, we remember that our body has importance. We are still union of body and soul. So if Church sees no doctrinal obstacles for cremation, it is against annihilation of our body. Simply, we want to know where is, and we believe in resurrection of our body. It doesn't mean that technique is stronger than God's goodwill. It will be an absurd. But what is important is that also we try to cherish as people. So Church is also against transforming human ashes in rings and jubilar items. We have an irreparable dignity. I mean, this position is stressing, first of all, the dignity of all human life, of all human person, also those who are dead.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. There's also the criticism of the commercialization of All Saints' Day, seeing that flowers, candle decorations are some of the most lucrative industry when it comes to Poland compared to other countries. Do you think that that is somewhat valid or not really?
In certain way, we are helpless in fact that people are trying to gain everywhere material goods, even in this field. Surely it is up to authorities to regulate certain situations. For instance, selling food in the neighborhood of cemeteries in those days. It seems that it is, perhaps it is for Eastern tradition, for Orthodox tradition, it is acceptable. For the Catholic tradition, not. So we want to remind that cemetery is also a sacred place, sacred area, and many times also we remember that people were buried in the neighborhood of the church. Cemeteries in small villages are located in the neighborhood of the church, around the church.
Right. I'm also interested in exploring how technology may interact with the tradition as well. We've also seen a little bit of popularity in digital remembrance spaces as well as virtual candles being quite popular. Do you think they complement or dilute the traditional Catholic teachings?
It is important to remember that our hope is a hope in resurrection, that the human. We have to remember what is the sense of our life. People sometimes, it is a fact that people are sometimes distracted, sometimes don't know precisely what their life is for. The church is trying to say your life is meaningful, and it's up to you to build this your life in a meaningful way. It means to giving also something to others. To giving, living out of life. I think people, my sister has 15 grandchildren, and I hope for her it is also a joy to know that her life is very meaningful, as life-giving. And perhaps it is also important for, there are different areas where we contribute to common good, but it is also very essential to know that my life is not vain, that my life is very meaningful also in the eyes of God.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think there are any examples of new innovative forms of remembrance that still reflects the core value of the day, with young people perhaps being able to participate these digitally, or the new ways of kind of participating in these events without actually diluting some of the teachings from the church?
I think rather not. There is a new tendency, especially in parishes, younger groups. Mm-hmm. People are celebrating saints on All Saints, so they are trying to imitate the saints they love. To celebrate, to sing, to even they do a certain procession, religious processions towards their saints. I mean, it is also important to give young people good example. Life cannot be limited to digital sphere. Also, we need a real relationship, and sometimes creating together with colleagues is something wonderful, and naturally there is temptation to live in front of computer, but a real life is something different. Right. And if you want to love somebody, Computer is not enough. You need to meet, to build something together.
All right, and speaking of building together, looking ahead, what's your hope and how future generation will mark All Saints' Day, and what do you think should not be lost during all these transition?
I hope it is, first of all, the role of families. Young people are taught in certain way where are the tombs, and perhaps what it is one of the interesting things that we notice people are interested. Who are my grandparents? Who were their grandparents? The whole question of genealogy. Mm-hmm. We very often cannot find their tombs, but we want to know what was the love which created ourselves. It is quite interesting. If you see, for instance, a signature of your grandfather's grandfather, it seems to be marvelous to notice these material traces that you are not the first one and not the last one in the whole history of human race and of your family. So this also we notice, for instance, Scots who goes to the places, especially where people were murdered, where places of national remembrance, where people give tribute to the heroes, people who sacrificed their life for our identity, for our liberty.
Right, so it does seem like it's not just a remembrance of those who passed, but also an appreciation of where we come from as well. Thank you so much for your input and insight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.